Unit 7.7, last one of Unit 7. And what we're looking at here is ethical issues around data collection. Reason? When you do sorting and searching and those types of algorithms, array lists being a data structure, and those algorithms being the algorithms performed on the data structure or an array, those are simple data structures, but you could think beyond that and say data are stored in some data structure and then algorithms are performed on those data. Now, you should know that data collection is a big part of computers because computers could save things very well. So when using the computer, personal privacy is at risk because when you send people your data, they store them, like Google, Facebook, Amazon, Apple. Programmers should attempt to safeguard personal privacy. So this idea of safeguarding your data, something I've been saying all year long, you need to safeguard your data. That's one of the reasons why we use the word private, actually. But beyond the privacy piece, though, we have to make sure that the computer use and the creation of programs have an impact. I'm sure that we know that the computer use and the creation of program have an impact on personal security. So we could look at a computer program and say, is this infringing on people's security or what? These impact can be beneficial and or harmful. So one thing when you write code, these are things that don't necessarily jump off when you're writing code early on, but you really do need to pay attention to this. Is it that you're making things that are private become open to the public? These are things you want to make sure you don't do. Besides privacy, there's also security, and those two topics take over a big part of what we do when we're writing code, especially concerning data collection. So a database, files, writing data on lists and stuff like that. So NPR has a nice one. Understand the major computer hack, and I have that. We'll take a quick look at that and then wrap this unit up. I'm not going to read every single thing here. I'm just going to give the gist. So here's the NPR thing. What we know about Russia's alleged. So we don't know if that's for sure. Hack of the U.S. government and tech companies. So here we go. Says a massive computer breach allowed hackers to spend months exploring numerous U.S. government networks and private company systems around the world. Industry experts say a country mounted the complex hack, and government officials say Russia is responsible. Don't know that for sure yet. This is an alleged. The hackers attached their malware to a software update from SolarWinds. That's a company based in Austin, Texas. Many federal agencies and thousands of companies worldwide use SolarWinds software to monitor their computer networks. SolarWinds says that nearly 18,000 of its customers in the government and in the private sector received the tainted software update from March to June this year. And here's what we know about the hack. Who is responsible? Well, they're claiming it's Russia is responsible. I'm not going to read every single thing here. Who was affected? So far, the list of affected U.S. government entities reportedly include the Commerce Department, Department of Homeland Security, the Pentagon, the Treasury Department, the U.S. Postal Service, and National Institutes of Health, NIH. Department of Energy acknowledged its computer system had been compromised, though it said malware was isolated to the business networks only. So this is a widespread attack, and you can see here that this list suggests a lot of personal private data, and the fact that the hackers were able to infiltrate these systems or to penetrate them is what we use. You know, a lot of people are going to be affected. So SolarWinds has some estimate of 300,000 customers, but it said fewer than 18,000 installed the version of its product. So it's trying to say it's not as widespread as it could have been. So this is something that's a big deal, and when you write code, you have to pay attention to this possible outcome. And how did the hack work? They exploited the way the software company distribute updates. adding malware to the legitimate package. This is tough to detect. Security analyst said the malicious code gave hackers a backdoor. This is literally what people want when they get a hack, is to get control of the system or the network through some backdoor process. And once they get that, they could then take the data that was supposed to be private and download it elsewhere. And so what are investigators doing now? SolarWinds said it's cooperating with the FBI and the U.S. intelligence, because you see, just writing code and maintaining systems could lead to some serious outcomes, okay? Serious outcomes. So that's the whole idea behind this unit. Not formal. It's not tested on the AP. It's just something to keep in mind. When you're writing code, first we saw that you could be biased, okay? Second, we saw that data collection is very dangerous. Have to safeguard it. Have to make sure you pay your ethical programming, I shouldn't say pay, but put your ethical programming hat on and keep that in your forefront as you write code. This unit just highlights some of the issues surrounding data collection, and this is something that needs to be really thought of and really taken seriously when you're writing code. All right, just like we saw with the bias is in code, there's also privacy and security part of writing code as well. This brings us to the end of 7.7.